Thanks, Anthony, and thanks, everyone. I'm the last corporate presentation here, so I will try to wrap up the day here talking about copper, which is what I'm passionate about. I'm the shareholder of this company, and I'm the CEO. Silver had its run in 2019 in terms of price move. Gold has just had its run this year. It's almost going parabolic. And copper is positioned well, for this next move through to electrification. So we've positioned our company to kind of be, in a good position for this next move that we see in the copper space. So we're buying as much copper as we can. This is a new investment opportunity, and when I say new, I mean you can buy the stock today. This is why I'm out promoting and marketing the company. We just closed an acquisition with our partners Denham Capital and Nititsu Mining, a Japanese trading house, 2 weeks ago. So this is a new business that you can invest in today. And going from gold to silver, or silver to gold to copper, I was in the gold industry. Developed China's second largest gold mine. In fact, that's where I met Greg Crow, who was one of the earlier speakers this morning in the silver space. Greg discovered the extension to the Oyu Tolgoi mine, which is one of the largest copper mines in the world in Mongolia. I built China's second largest gold mine. We hit the price, the gold price, at the right time, and that company is China Gold International now, a very successful gold operator. We're positioning Camino to do the same thing in the copper space. So let me take you to Chile, which is where our recent acquisition is. I'll be making forward-looking statements as the other speakers have discussed. So we're going to fly down to Santiago from Vancouver. From Santiago, it's about a 400-kilometer drive or flight up to La Serena. La Serena is a beautiful industrial town right along the coastline of Chile. Chile is obviously an excellent country to work in, first-tier company. Excellent roads to our town here of Punta Colorada, which is where the company keeps all of its infrastructure. This is a project that has been stewarded by Denham Capital, a $10 billion private equity group, so everything is done to the highest standard, as you can imagine. And this is a reserve category business. So although we have exploration to discuss in Peru and Chile, this project is reserve category. We're a permitted mine, so we're in a position here now where we can go and build this mine this year. Copper mines, to build a copper mine, the most cost-effective way to build a copper mine is an SX-EW mine, which is you're dissolving the copper and making copper cathode. We own 4 of our own wells. This well, that freshwater well, is enough to supply the mine to production. And then in terms of water, power, access, we've got a deal with Barrick Gold, and their power station will drop our substation into their system there so that we connect to the grid. And then it's a 45-kilometer drive on a road maintained by Barrick. They maintain this road all the way up to Pascua-Lama. To our site. You pull off of the maintained road, and about a kilometer up, you see that we've got the earthworks here to receive our S6EW plant for the copper processing. Everything is gravity fed here, so we've got our crushing circuit is gravity fed down to the processing plant, and then the deposit actually sticks out of the ground, which is why we have a nice strip ratio, and basically reminding the top of that mountain, shallow open pit, and this gives us our first 14 years of mining. If we fly to the top of the mine, look over the edge, of course you can see we've got lots of exploration on this project, but the real opportunity here is to build the first mine and get a re-rating. And this is why I say it's a good opportunity for you to look at the company today as we go through this re-rating and new valuation. All the engineering that we've done, this is to a definitive feasibility study level. It's been done by Osenko Engineering. It's a top-tier engineering firm with peer review by Hatch. And it's a heap leach. You dissolve the copper, you put it through the process plant, and then you make that copper cathode. Our partners, Nititsu Mining, this will be their 3rd copper mine in Chile. They operate the Atacama-Kozan mine here, where I'm standing with Chris Adams. Chris is the former head of Mining Americas from Macquarie Bank for 25 years. We went down to look at Atacama-Kozan for due diligence last year. And Nititsu is mining the Atacama-Kozan mine, which buttresses up to Candelaria, one of the best copper districts in the world. They are building a $400 million copper mine called Arqueros, just outside of La Serena. And their third mine will be the Puquias mine, which they'll build with us. And that's about 50 kilometers away from their Arqueros mine as the crow flies. Denham Capital is our largest shareholder, and they are a $10 billion fund. They are one of the largest shareholders behind Alphamin, which is the tin producer that one of the Cornish metals discussed this morning, based on the DRC. So we're dealing with mine builders, mine operators. In our own right, the management has been very successful building mines. When you invest, this could go for gold, tin, all the topics that we've had today, silver. The best way to invest in a commodity business is with growth companies. This is why you're here to look at exploration companies and developer companies like myself. And the example I have is, if you bought into BHP, very safe investment, but over 20 years you would double your money. And if you hit the cycle right, you could go 3 times or 5 times your money on BHP. However, if you invest in a growth company, and I use the example here of Antofagasta Metals, Antofagasta bought their first mine in 1993 and then never looked back. And they've had thousands of % return as they grow their business. And this is the opportunity that we have for Camino as we buy our first permitted mine to put into production. So as I said, we've completed the definitive feasibility study. We put out a new engineering study just 2 months ago to close our deal. You'll see that the capital cost is about $142 million. We're working with JBIC, Japanese Bank of International Cooperation, for a nominal $100 million facility for this project. And Nititsu Mining is leading those discussions. Nititsu has already received over $300 million for that second mine I mentioned, Arqueros, from JBEC. So we think that's a first approach to get our debt facility in place. And then the rest of the capital there, 50% would go to be contributed by Nititsu and 50% by Camino. So we're in a position here where we're building a mine, we're getting a re-rating on a project that is very doable, permitted, and we think the financial hurdles are well within our ability to build this mine. We talk about all-in sustaining costs. Our costs are about $2 a pound on this project. The commodity today, copper trades for over $4 a pound. So 50% or 100% margin, 50% margin. On that, those are good. That's a good position to be in when you're building any type of commodity business. As I said, we're at reserve category, so we've got 26 million tons of 0.5, and that's our soluble copper. There's upside on this project. What you see there in pink is the 14-year mine life. We've got projections here. We're on top of a large porphyry system that Freeport worked on over 20 years ago. So the opportunity here is through exploration and more engineering, and more importantly, using sulfide leaching technology. There's the opportunity to go 2 or 3x, in terms of what you see there in the profile. So once we get into production using our conventional method, which is sulfuric acid leaching, this is sort of the vanilla way you build an SX-EW mine. There is opportunities for exploration and upside through technology and additional engineering. And I can't emphasize how important it is, to take a look at a developer, especially Camino, today. For me to stand here and talk about this investment opportunity, which we just closed on 2 weeks ago. Okay, it's taken over 40 years for a company like this to get to this position. That's the geologist walking on the site in 1979. Freeport, one of the largest copper companies in the world, putting adits in 20 years ago, to engineering being done, to permits, to being to partners coming in, to being ready to build the mine. Okay, that's today. And so this is a very rare and scarce opportunity. I know this because I'm talking to investors around the world. They tell me that. Number two, the offtake. There's a high interest in companies that can actually get metal out of the ground, and our offtake is highly sought after. Okay, so that's Chile, but we also have exploration in Peru. And this is where we began our efforts a few years ago. So the overall strategy for Camino, build our project in Chile, which is Puquios, look at the upside, the scalability of that project. And number two, develop our second project. We think we have the second project, which is Los Chapitos in Peru, which we've been drilling for the last couple of years. More than a couple of years, the last over 10 years. We brought in Nititsu the last couple of years into that project. Nititsu came out of the Candelaria district, which is one of the best copper jurisdictions in Chile, and into our district in Peru. That project requires additional drilling and engineering, but we think that what we see there is the next mine. So when you look at what our current portfolio of assets that we're moving forward to create value, Puquios is on the perfect part of the development curve, the re-rating curve, and this is why I say it's a good time to look at our company. That's where you've gone through the major engineering pieces and the permitting pieces. Now you're going to build to production. The other part of the curve is the exploration curve, and this is the exciting part of the curve. So both of these projects, we just put some exploration results out on Los Chapitos this week in terms of what we're doing for the next year. We will start drilling Los Chapitos in the second half of this year. So you can wake up with a discovery with Camino, or you can also just see this fundamental value being created as we go to production. So as I said, Nititsu came into the district with us 2 years ago. They're investing $9 million for a 35% interest in this project. And we get exceptional results. I mean, when we go out and drill this project, Los Chapitos, 95, 96, 91 meters of 0.7, 0.9, 0.8% copper. This is soluble copper. These are very good numbers in the world. And then what we do is, we've been stepping out. So we're looking for, when I say we're on the discovery part of that curve, we're actually drilling for, big numbers and volumes and tonnage. So when we step out, 2 kilometers at Diana, another 2 kilometers at Lourdes, we get similar numbers, 55 meters of 0.9, 25 meters of 1.3% copper. These are exceptional numbers. And so what we're doing is we've got 3 major copper trends along this 220 square kilometer package, large package, and we're just drilling up and down this trend to try to make a large discovery. And effectively, what we're looking for is about a 50 million ton deposit that we can put in production, similar to size as Puquios. We think we're about halfway there in terms of the work that we've done. But the prize at this project is that it's something much larger. So as I said, we like the project, the exploration potential. Nititsu came in to help us develop it and build a mine there. And then in this last year, Rio Tinto has stake claims next to us. And Rio is there for a much larger discovery. And the prize in the whole district there would be something the size of Minsur, the Mina Justa mine. And this is the world's newest copper mine. It produces 100,000 tons a year of copper equivalent a year, which makes it world class. And it was built for $1.6 billion. We've got other exploration assets in Peru. And this all comes inside of a company that today is valued at about 15 million Canadian dollars, so 10 million US. This project in particular, which we own 100% of, Maria Cecilia, has had over $28 million invested in it. It's got a National Instrument 43-101 resource. Until the copper market comes back, we'll just leave this project on care and maintenance. But there's potential for us to continue to build, continue to drill, in a project, in a company that is just getting started, with a production asset. We're extremely discounted, and the whole copper market is discounted. But as I said, if you want to get into the copper investment market today, the best place to be, I think, is on the developers. And Camino is definitely a business that is overlooked and not known in the public markets today. And talking about copper, we talk about the demand and AI and data centers. I'm just going to pull out some information that I got from Benchmark Minerals Intelligence this week, which is an excellent group here in London. And you're going to see a theme here when I just read out these numbers. But if you look at the copper price chart, last year, 2024, the copper price started to move above $5. and then it was off a bit. You see there a steep dip when the tariffs came in 2025, but notably, copper only dropped to about $3.90. I mean, that's a very good number. Notably, it only dropped to $3.90 and then came roaring back. A lot of that was sort of front-running some of the tariffs. But over that period of time where you see some of the historically the highest copper prices in the world, this is what the largest copper mining companies in the world were doing over this historic period. So BHP, this is the last quarter, up 0.5%. Freeport, down 16.6%. Codelco, one of the largest producers in the world, down 27.8%. Southern Copper, slightly up at 1.1%. Anglo American, down 6.9%. Rio Tinto, down 8%. Antofagasta, which is what I mentioned earlier, down 22.8%. KGHM from Poland, up 3.5%. Teck, down 13.2%. Nornickel, up 2%. First Quantum, down 11%, and that doesn't include the mine that was shut down in Panama. Minmetals from China declined 6.9%. Finally, Vale fell 10.7%. Okay, production is down when copper prices are at all-time highs. It's a good time to invest in copper. It's a very good time to invest, not look at it, actually make the buy button on your screen and take a look at and buy Camino. It's a junior company with a very senior board. I think it's an institutional grade investment today. And you can see the board that has come on from Denham Capital. Very tight share structure, 68 million shares outstanding, so it's easy to do the math in terms of our market cap today. Thank you very much. I'll be at the lunch after if anyone has any questions and would like to talk to me personally.